Hi, this is Anish Pradhan from Toddy. I am homeless man seeking a job in municipality of Ratnanagar, and this is how my story went seeking job to earn a living. To be honest, I am good in English and talented in mathematics. Speaking of past, I was born in rich family, but parenting went worse. My late parents, who lost their life in accident, used to get to dance bar, pub and casino and got addicted to gambling and drinks. Both of them were heavy drinker. They never worried about my life when I was child, and we had enough money to live luxurious life. Talking of my love story, it's complicated. I am single dad with son of 13. All I have is my son and my weak body. He was born with mutation, and the treatment for his illness made me to sell all the property I had left. My golden watch, Lamborghini, and a good antique hat. This is the day I was seeking job to earn for living. I met a kid. He is fast learner and smart. "What's your name, kid?" I asked. He replied with cute smile on his face, "I am Gohan." He was well dressed, so I thought if I could get his father pay me for a job. I found he was brilliant kid and I couldn't stop myself give him a challenge. "Will you take a challenge?" I asked. With bold smile on his face he replied, "Sure, why not?" I asked him question to find sum of all numbers between 1 to 100 within a minute. Well, that was quite tough question for him. He replied, that's a tough one. Nobody can calculate that fast." "Nope, that's quite easy question. Sum of 1 and 100 multiplied by 100 divided by 2, that's all," I replied. He was confused for a while. I asked him if I can get to meet his parents. With bold smile on his face, he refused to answer that question, and we parted our ways. I kept seeking for a good job and eventually came across a farming and marketing company. I had no idea what it was. The company was hiring for new position for email marketers. Well, I didn't have any email marketing knowledge and experience nor any idea of computers. I found I am not eligible for the role since I don't have any computing knowledge. It felt like I don't have time and will to learn computers at the age of 46. But what could I do? I questioned myself. I didn't have enough strength to do physical and weightlifting jobs. At that moment, I thought maybe I can learn to cook and be chef. But I was allergic to oils and fried food. Everybody seems to be busy with their life. Nobody had time to talk with me and share their knowledge and idea. I thought maybe I can use my mathematical skills and earn a living. Thus, I decided to apply where I can use my mathematical knowledge. I was tired and sat under a tree on a park. I saw the kid I met earlier with a gentleman. I called the kid and asked who the person is. He replied, "He is my dad." The gentleman asked his son if he knows him. He is very talented. He calculated the sum of numbers from 1 to 100 within a minute. He replied. I asked the gentleman where he works. He replied, "I work on a farming and marketing company." He asked why I looked tired. "I am wandering all around the city looking for a job." I said, "You must be the same person who visited our company few hours ago," said gentleman. "Well, they said you don't have enough computing experience, knowledge, and will to learn. It can't be helped," he said. "I can help you get the training, but you should have the will to learn for 4 months. Unfortunately, we can't pay you during the training session." It got on my nerve and I burst in anger, yelling out, "I don't need your freaking boring job. You don't know I won multiple prizes in different mathematical competition. I was too good in mathematics. I never use computers or laptops since they are for dumb and idiots." Really mad and in vain, I moved away from the place. I was too mad. I felt angry at my late parents at the meantime. I was croaking since I imitated them since childhood, and my childhood was too luxurious until the day when we were homeless because they spent all money on gambling and taking luxurious drinks on pub, dance bar, and casino. Next day, I read on newspaper, the owner of that farming and marketing company was murdered. Cops were searching all the place looking for me and take me into custody. That kid stated I was the person who murdered his father. Several statements were prepared. It took cops a week to investigate and I was taken to court to justify and give out my statement. The judge went through all the police investigation report and statements, declared me guilty of murder of a gentleman, sentenced me to 20 years of imprisonment. It was frustrating and at the same time I was wondering how would my son survive on own. I was sent to core cell of the prison and met an old man on the prison. I asked what was he accused of. "I killed my wife and my son." It's what the statement says. I hardly remember any of the crime I committed or any such actions. That's what he said. I freaked out. What is wrong with the court and police investment? This is insane. We are being imprisoned for the actions we never committed. The old man showed me picture of his family. What? How is this possible? I was out of my mind. The picture was taken when he was young and I was on the picture. I asked his name. He told he is John Pradden. I was completely blown away because my father was alive all this time. I told him I am his son and still alive. With a smile on his face and uttering slowly, he said one of my sons is alive. I am glad to know. Sons, you say, I replied. He told me that I had a stepmother and she passed away when I was 12 while being pregnant and your little brother was born. He told, after a few days dad and mother got into car accident along with me, but luckily we all survived and things got more complicated afterwards. If we survived, how is it possible that both of you are dead in death certificate? He replied, that's what I don't understand now. So, you haven't seen your mother in ages, said Dad. Is she alive? I asked. Well, if you don't know, I am not sure of it, said Dad. I filed an appeal for both of our cases in the appellate court mentioning we didn't commit any crimes and we are victim of somebody's action. This appeal spread like a wildfire. Everybody was interested in this case. From the loneliness of the central cell of the prison, we heard a voice of a young girl. She was the inspector from CIB department interested in our cases. There must be somebody behind the scene pulling the strings. If both of you aren't criminals, I will light the case and punish the criminal, said the inspector. All we could was pray for the success of the investigation of her team. After a week, we were presented in the court to attend our appeal to our case. In the court, we stated we are victim of similar case and somebody is behind the scene. After 4 months of reinvestigation, the culprit was finally caught and brought in light. Both the judges were bribed with handsome money by the same family. Father was sentenced to prison by a man who was the ex-boyfriend of my mother, and I was prisoned by his son. We were delighted to get free from prison. We thanked the CIB inspector and her team. She burst out in tears and told I never felt the affection of love from brother. This is the first time I am able to hug you gladly. Who are you? And why are you mentioning me, brother? I asked the CIB inspector. I am your little sister and he's my stepfather, she said after death of mother. I was living alone for a couple of years. Both of you are dead according to the news report. I didn't like these details because I don't want you to know until case is resolved. I wanted to see you and ensure both of you get justice. The next morning when woke up I had headache and the company owner was on my gate waiting for me.